What's going on, guys? Today we are talking about how to properly perform any abdominal exercise. We do this by synchronizing our rib cage and pelvis. Now, before I show you an example, let's talk about the rib cage and the pelvis real quick. Starting at the rib cage, what are we looking to achieve? We're looking to achieve rib internal rotation. Essentially, rib internal rotation is achieved by a good exhale where the ribs come down and in. What does this do for us when we're trying to train our abs? This actually puts us in a mechanical advantage because of the shortened rib cage to use our abs. So if we're performing any abdominal exercise without first taking a good exhale and getting the ribs to come down, then we're starting off in a bad position and it's going to be really hard to actually use our abs. Now the pelvis, when we take a good exhale, the pelvis goes into a slight posterior pelvic tilt. Now posterior pelvic tilt is slightly rounding our back. That, coupled with our shortened rib cage, puts us in a really good biomechanical position to actually challenge our abs while we're performing whatever exercise we're looking to do. So for today, I'm going to show you a dead bug because it's something that's simple that everyone can start off with. However, this philosophy applies to any abdominal training that you're going to do and really any exercise that you're going to do. We need to make sure we're setting the rib cage and the pelvis. So as I drop down into a dead bug, I'm just going to go over those two principles real quick. So most people are familiar with a dead bug. If you're not, you can do it with legs up, you can do it with arms up, you can do it with just legs, you can do it with just arms. There's a million different variations. But today, I'm just going to show you the legs moving so you can appreciate the rib cage and the pelvis. So before I start, what do we need to do? We need to get the rib cage in a better position. Right now, it's in an externally rotated position. How do we do that? Through a good exhale. So we take an inhale, exhale. My ribs came down. If you didn't see, I went into a slight posterior pelvic tilt naturally from this rib cage coming down. So that low back is starting to flatten out. Right now, if you were able to feel your client or athlete's abdominals, they should be on. From here, you can take your legs up. Here's where it's critical. This is where most people lose their good rib cage and good pelvis position. So as the legs come up, we need to maintain that internally rotated state at the ribs and the posterior pelvic tilt at the pelvis. And now here's the second point. As they go down, they cannot lose that position, and as they come up, they cannot lose that position. A lot of people are able to get in a good position here and even here, but what they do is they go into a position that challenges them too much and they lose it, and then they use momentum to generate everything back. And what happens is they get into a forced posterior pelvic tilt and a forced internally rotated state, and really those are compensatory mechanisms that just start to drive bad patterns into our brain. So again, take your good exhale, get your good pelvis position, and make sure as you go down into it, we do not lose that position throughout the entire exercise.